You never sleep on the tour bus with your head pointed towards the front of the bus. If you do this and the driver slams on the brakes, you can break your neck. So, when you sleep on the tour bus, always make sure that your feet is pointed towards the front of the bus. That way, if the driver slams on the brake to avoid an accident, your feet will go towards the front of the bus and not the crown of your head.
Your favorite drummer, all the way from Chicago, Illinois, Mr. Andrew Blaze Thomas.
Hey everybody, it is your favorite drummer, Blues Music Award winner, Andrew Blaze Thomas. And today, I got another valuable lesson for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the differences between traveling on airplanes, tour buses, and vans. These are the three common ways that us musicians tour the world and travel and get from gig to gig. So let's get right to it. Before we get too far in it, I gotta ask you, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This monologue is from my new book, Chapter 8 of the book, Don't Freak Out While Traveling, Airplanes, Buses, and Tour Vans. From my new book, You Got the Gig, Here's How to Keep It, a Working Musician's Model for Success. So, the first mode of transportation I'm going to be talking about today is airplanes. Airplanes is my favorite way to travel. It's easy, it's convenient, and you get from point A to point B really fast, of course. But here's the thing, there's rules to everything. When you travel as a professional musician, you want to pack light. So what I do is, I keep my bags down to 2 bags, just 2. I take a carry-on bag, and then I have a suitcase that I always check and put underneath the plane. In my check luggage, I keep my clothes, the components that I use for the tour, the electronics, things of that nature, cowbells, tambourines. I even check my drumstick bag, but in my carry-on luggage, this is important. I always keep my passport with me in my carry-on, my personal information, my laptop, speakers, head speakers, house shoes. I always travel with the comfortable house slippers. And I always make sure that I keep at least 3 pair of clean underwear, 3 pair of socks, my toiletries, and an exchange of performance clothes, stage clothes. This is crucial because you might get off the flight, but your bag might not make it. If you have stage clothes with you and your bag gets lost, you can still perform the show and look great. Another thing that's very important, be sure to take your instrument. For my case, it would be drumsticks. I always keep at least 3 pair of drumsticks in my carry-on bag. Just in case the rest of the sticks that's in my check bag don't make it, I've got drumsticks with me. Before you leave home, take a picture of your check bag, because if your bag gets lost, when you get to your destination and you're in the airport, you can go to the Lost and Found, fill out a lost luggage claim, and it's good to have a picture of it. You can show the people that's working there what your bag looks like, and you can write in detailed format everything about your bag so it can be found and you can be reunited with your property. Now that we've discussed how to travel and what to bring with you when you fly, let's switch this thing over and let's talk about traveling on tour buses. One of my favorite things about touring on a tour bus is the sleep you get. It's something about the hum of the engine. I actually sleep better on tour buses than I do in hotel rooms. But like everything else, there's rules to traveling on a tour bus. One thing that you definitely do not want to do, you never sleep on the tour bus with your head pointed towards the front of the bus. If you do this and the driver slams on the brakes, you can break your neck. So, when you sleep on the tour bus, always make sure that your feet is pointed towards the front of the bus. That way, if the driver slams on the brake to avoid an accident, your feet will go towards the front of the bus and not the crown of your head. Now, here is an unwritten rule that I'm a little embarrassed to talk about, but hey, there's no secret amongst friends, right? When you're traveling on a tour bus, be sure to ask the driver the first day right when you get on, is it okay to take a number 2 or, defecate on the bus? Some buses you can, some you can't. This is crucial because there are times on tour where you might eat rich foods that might not agree with you. And I'm telling you, you don't want to be on a tour bus late night and have to go to the restroom and you can't. So watch your diet. Pay attention to what you eat so you don't get an upset stomach, especially if you're on a bus that you can't do a number 2 on. When you travel on a tour bus, you are in very close quarters with everybody you're on the bus with. The space gets really tight. Germs spread. Be sure, always, make sure you have some hand sanitizer with you and use it often when you're on a tour bus. This helps prevent the spread of germs. Tours last longer than clean laundry. So, be sure to pack a small bottle of laundry detergent with you when you travel. I like to use Woodlight or just whatever that's cheap and convenient that you can take with you. So that way you can wash your dirty underwear and your dirty socks in the venue bathroom, in the sink, and then you can take your clean clothes and you can hang them on the curtain of your bus. That way, by the morning time, the ventilation on the bus will dry your clothes. And it's a good way to keep clean clothes with you in a nice, convenient manner, because trust me, if you're on a 30-day tour or longer, you're gonna run out of clean underwear. Now let's discuss traveling in vans. I've spent the bulk of my career traveling in vans all over the United States and Europe. Played with Anna Popovic, Bernard Allison, Kelly Hunt, Mississippi Heat, Sean Kellerman. All those acts at some point or another traveled in vans. So I'm an expert at it. If you own a van and it's your main mode of touring transportation, be sure to install a cage or a wall in the back of the van where you're going to load the gear. That's important because if you slam on the brakes, you don't want keyboard stands and guitar stands flying all over the van. When you pack a van and you put it in the luggage and the gear in the back, never pack luggage and gear higher than the back seat. Be sure to keep all the gear just slightly lower than the top of the back headrest. You do this in a situation where the driver has to slam on the brakes, the gear and luggage don't come to the front of the van, injuring somebody and hitting them in the back of the head. This is very important. If you're touring with a band and you're asked to drive, if you guys are sharing shifts, driving shifts, be sure to get plenty of sleep before your turn to drive. And never travel immediately after a show. After the show, a lot of times we feel excited and our adrenaline is pumped up because we just had a great show. And we might think that we can just play a show, get in the van and drive all night to the next town. This is dangerous. Normally, about 1 hour into the drive, all the adrenaline from the show starts to go down. Everybody gets tired, and before you know it, you're behind the wheel driving and the rest of the band is asleep. A lot of accidents happen this way. You don't take a long road trip or even a short road trip without plenty of rest. When you park the van and it's full of the band gear, make sure you park in a well-lit area. Also, try to find a parking space where you can bag the van up against a wall or some type of barrier. So just in case there's thieves in the area and they try to break in the van, they can't load the gear out. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure. Please check out the playlist. There's many of videos talking all about the unwritten rules of touring and all the things that are from my new book, You Got the Gig, Here's How to Keep It, A Working Musician's Model for Success. This has been your favorite drummer and Blues Music Award winner, Andrew Blaze Thomas.